Alright guys, back with this kit that I'm trying to see how well it works on these OBS trucks. I'm lowered 4.6, so this wood right here represents pretty much 3/4 of an inch off ground level because we're on a lift here, and of course it's running across. And so what we're looking at here is probably maybe 1.5 inches of ground clearance with the crossover, and even less, like 3/4 of an inch of ground clearance with the wastegate mounted here. So obviously that's not very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shorten the pipe on each side. So I'm going to just basically bring this whole thing up higher, because there's clearance here. There's probably, I don't know, a good 2 fingers at least, so a couple inches. And then if I spin it back, sorry, the angle kind of sucks, but if I also kind of move it back this way, kind of come up and back, it can kind of dip up in here into this area and get even a little more height, which would be as much or more ground clearance as my non-turbo exhaust had. Anyways, my non-turbo exhaust hung down pretty bad, probably about as bad as it is here, but anyways, I'm gonna try to solve that. But the one issue I found so far that just straight up just with not fitting, because like let's say if you're a 4-wheel drive, that's why this pops out so far here, is to allow for that 4-wheel drive shaft to come through here. So this ground clearance may not be an issue for you, but what will be an issue in the OBS, if you're the same setup as me anyways, as far as using the aluminum plates for motor mounts instead of the dirty dingles, was this doesn't line up here. So that's really not a big deal, because what's going on is it's hitting the frame here. So I'll just dent this right here a little bit. It's not going to be a big enough dent to matter. It's not going to cause any major issues. Probably won't cause any issues at all. And as soon as that's got a little dent, I'll mark it. And then once I figure out how short I'm going to go to gain some ground clearance, I'll mark it, put a little ding in it, test it, ding it more or whatever. Just go little by little, and until I can get that V-band clamp on there, and that'll be a wrap for that. But just a little update on how the exhaust is, the crossover, and I plan to actually move this. I'm going to move this up underneath the turbo. I'm going to probably make a little, I guess a seat for it in between the turbo and the manifold, and I'll get pictures and videos of all that. But there it is. Let me go out from underneath the lift and I'll show you from the side. So yeah, see, ground clearance there is just awful. Sorry that light's shining the camera, but anyways, the ground clearance would just be horrible on a 4.6 truck. So I'll get that solved, but not a big issue. Basically everything seems to fit really well, and it'll definitely work with just a little bit of finesse, and it should be okay in the OBS body. More vids to come, more pics to come, and all that. So later.